In 1940, during the Battle of France, German soldiers captured a man and locked him inside an escape-proof prison. The Nazis thought the story was over, but they were wrong, because this prisoner, old, wounded, and barely able to walk, was about to deliver one of the greatest humiliations in Nazi history. Stay with us, because you won't believe how a 70-year-old limping man outsmarted Hitler and disappeared right under his nose. In 1914, when World War I started, at this time, Giraud was a professional officer. Early in the war, during fighting in Belgium, he was wounded and captured by German forces. The Germans sent him to a POW camp. For most prisoners, captivity meant waiting. For Giraud, it meant planning. In 1914, only months after being captured, Giraud escaped, climbing over walls, slipping past guards, and traveling hundreds of kilometers through enemy territory to return to France. The escape cemented two things: his reputation as a fearless officer, his personal hatred of captivity. He returned to active duty, was wounded again later in the war, and finished WWII as a decorated hero. After WWII, France emerged victorious but traumatized. Giraud stayed in the army, rising steadily through the ranks during the 1920s and 1930s. He became deeply involved in colonial warfare, especially in North Africa counterinsurgency operations in Morocco, training troops for conventional land warfare. However, Giraud was not a modern strategist. He believed strongly in defensive warfare discipline and hierarchy, the power of infantry and artillery. Like many French generals of his generation, he underestimated mechanized warfare, tanks and fast-moving armored units, which Germany would later exploit. By 1939, on the eve of World War II, Giraud was a senior general, commanding the French 7th Army. In May 1940, Nazi Germany launched its lightning invasion of Western Europe. France collapsed with shocking speed. On May 19, 1940, during the chaotic retreat near the Belgian border, Giraud's staff car accidentally drove into a German patrol. He was captured almost instantly. For the Nazis, this was a propaganda gift: a 4-star French general captured alive. A symbol of France's defeat, Adolf Hitler personally ordered that Giraud be treated as a high-value prisoner and locked away permanently. The Germans sent him to Königstein Fortress, near Dresden, an ancient mountain stronghold believed to be completely escape-proof. Giraud arrived at Königstein in June 1940. The fortress sat atop sheer cliffs, surrounded by vertical rock faces. Guards believed escape was impossible. Because of his age, over 60, and limp from old war wounds, Giraud was treated as harmless. That was a mistake. For nearly 2 years, Giraud studied guard routines, timed searchlights, identified blind spots, secretly collected string, fabric, wire, and tools, braided a rope from bed sheets and hidden copper wire, learned German, fluently communicated with the outside world using coded letters. Everything was done slowly, patiently, invisibly. The escape, April 17, 1942. On April 17, 1942, Giraud made his move. In broad daylight, during a guard shift change, he slipped into a blind zone, anchored his homemade rope, lowered himself 150 feet down a sheer cliff, evaded guards and patrols, met a resistance contact, shaved his distinctive mustache, changed into civilian clothes. Within hours, Nazi Germany realized its most famous prisoner was gone. Hitler was furious. A 100,000 Reichsmark bounty was placed on Giraud's head. Orders were issued to shoot him on sight, yet Giraud calmly traveled through Germany. By train, in first-class compartments, sitting next to German officers using forged Swiss documents. After 10 days, he crossed safely into Switzerland. It was one of the most embarrassing failures of Nazi security during the war. After reaching safety, Giraud returned to Vichy, France, then later joined the Allied cause. In 1942 to 1943, the Allies needed a French leader in North Africa. Giraud was chosen by the Americans because he was anti-German. He was not closely aligned with Charles de Gaulle. He was seen as controllable. For a brief moment, Henri Giraud and Charles de Gaulle jointly led Free French forces, but the partnership failed. Why Giraud lost power? He hated politics. He struggled with public speaking. He lacked de Gaulle's charisma. He refused to fully purge Vichy collaborators. At first, de Gaulle outmaneuvered him politically. By 1944, Giraud was sidelined, holding ceremonial roles while de Gaulle became the undisputed leader of Free France. Giraud served briefly in government. Henri Giraud died on March 11, 1949, at the age of 70. If you love real stories of courage, intelligence, and impossible escapes, make sure you hit that like button and subscribe. It helps this story reach more history lovers like you.